Hi, my name is Barry. Welcome. I'm a New York State licensed psychotherapist and a professional spiritual intuitive. Today, the topic is going to be on the subject of tranquility. Now, there is a lot written on the subject in the sense of meditation, biofeedback, um, all kinds of ways of mindfulness, staying in the present. That's not what I'm going to be discussing today. Those are all extremely valid methods of achieving a degree of tranquility, but I'm going to be addressing the more psychological dynamics. And for people who are not particularly tranquil, which I dare say, at least in Western culture, is probably the vast majority, not all, but a lot. Um, not being tranquil really falls into a few different categories. There are those people who are addicted to drama. For them, emotional trauma, getting emotional, is sort of like riding a roller coaster. It's a way of really stimulating the senses, feeling a sense of life. Then there are people who are highly reactive. What happens with them is when they're in a situation and it has any kind of emotional component, they react. They don't wait, they don't pause, they immediately react. And usually not in a mild manner. And they're always reacting to things. So again, very much of an emotional roller coaster. And there's a third way, which is a method not commonly talked about. In Buddhism, it's called the witness. In psychology, it's called the observing ego. And what this is it's a way of really stepping outside of yourself. You go, I guess, about half a foot outside your forehead, approximately. This is not literal, but you step out and you turn around and you look back at yourself, imaging, of course, and you get a sense, okay, what's going on? What am I thinking? What am I feeling? Why am I so emotionally upset? And is it really necessary? This is a tool that I will just describe briefly. If you want more information, feel free to contact me and I'd be glad to help you. But it is a tool that enables you to see, okay, does this situation really warrant this degree of emotional turmoil, this degree of emotional response? Or is it something that is exaggerated? Or perhaps I don't need to have that emotional response at all. So it's a very, very useful tool. It's not at all like the quiet period where if you're about to get emotional, it's a behavioral psychology technique. You count to 10 or you give yourself a few minutes of quiet, let the emotion calm down. No, this is observing and seeing what's going on that you're so emotional in the first place. And then it gives you a choice. Do I wish to be this emotional? Or perhaps it's really not needed. So that's just a useful tool I wanted to share. But getting back to the main topic here of tranquility, for people who are addicted to drama, and there are certainly a vast number of people who do like it one way or another, somehow it gives them the sense of being alive. They need to get their sense of aliveness from the outside because inside they're usually not very alive, they're not very stimulated, they don't have a lot of access to their own inner passion in life, so they need to draw it from the outside. A way to deal with this, and I hate to go back to the old canard, but it's true, is to really spend some time with yourself and see, what is it that really is my pleasure, my passion? Do I need to have a sense of life by creating drama in the external world? Or can I have a sense of life simply by feeling, by experiencing, and by acting out and doing what is most important for me? Do you love to write? Then write, paint, do math, whatever it is. Find your inner passion. By inner exploration, you could just sit quietly and ask yourself some questions. And, one thing people just don't do very much is give themselves time to just think and feel and get a sense of being with yourself. So many people are running away, and there's so many ways to do it. You can watch television, there's a computer, there are all kinds of games. There are many, many ways in this culture to escape yourself. But what I'm saying is, spend some time every day with yourself rather than running away from yourself. And you may find an amazing person inside. So that's one way of dealing with the situation. The other is to do with people who are highly reactive. And this is a totally different cause. These are not people who have difficulty finding their own passion in life, but they don't pause. I mentioned earlier behavioral technique about counting to 10 before you react, etc., etc. People who do this, when they feel a strong emotional reaction coming up, depending upon the strength, sometimes they need to pause for 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes it's even better to just wait till the next day, because it's amazing how many times when you have a strong emotional reaction, if you just let yourself be quiet and you don't react, the need to have an emotional reaction goes away. Not always. Sometimes it stews, it brews, but it's still, if you give it time, you have the opportunity to approach it in a somewhat more rational manner rather than purely emotional. Bring some of the adult in. So when you're in these situations, either a highly reactive individual or someone who loves to stimulate drama to feel that sense of life, both of these rob the individual of a sense of tranquility in life. But in order to have a sense of tranquility, you have to be okay with being with yourself alone, not necessarily avoiding people, but just taking some time out just to be alone. Perhaps go into a room, sit in a comfortable chair, close the door, maybe put on some very nice calming music. Nothing loud or exciting. Probably better not a lot of vocals, because then you'll listen to the words. But just something that is a background noise so that you can then spend time to reflect and think. And if you can do this once a day, ideally, but at least a few times a week, you'll start to discover more about yourself, who you are, and you'll find that you have a pretty rich life inside. And there's no need to focus so much on the external to feel alive. And there's no need to react so strongly in emotional situations. And when you are in situations that are emotional triggers, before you react, just stop and try to ask yourself, what's going on here? Why do I have this strong sense of anger or fear or sadness? What is the trigger? What is really happening to me? Not everyone can do this, but if you can, it's a tremendous boost, because once you know why it's happening, you may not need the emotion anymore. And then you can go and deal with the cause, whether it's truly external or something internal. All right, I hope this has been helpful and informative. My name is Barry Naroff. It's Naroff. I'm a New York State licensed psychotherapist and a professional spiritual intuitive. If you want to write me, my email address is barry@birthrightTherapy.com. That's BARRY. And my my webpage, if you want to read more about me, it's Birthright Therapy. And feel free to write comments in the comment box if you have questions, or if you'd like to see a specific topic being addressed. Definitely feel free to ask, and I'll oblige if I can. So make sure, if you like what you're hearing and you'd like to hear more, please subscribe. And if you ring that bell next to the subscription, you'll be notified when the next video is out. So, thank you very much, and until the next time, goodbye.